True value is an objective value system based on saved energy. Maximizing true value, therefore, means maximizing how much energy you save per how much energy you spend. What does it mean to maximize true value in the real world? It means doing the most amount of useful work possible using the least amount of energy. So, what's a practical problem involving true value? An easy one is making and using a wrench. This goes all the way from the process of manufacturing the wrench to using it. There are several problems involved. What wrench to make? How should you actually make the wrench? Who should get the wrench? And how should the wrench be used? These are just a few of the considerations when maximizing true value. What does this question involve? How to make the wrench? Well, first, it involves work. Work done mining iron and processing it into steel. Work done manufacturing that steel into a wrench. And then work done using the wrench. The mining and processing costs energy. The manufacturing of the wrench costs energy. Actually using the wrench saves energy. That's why the wrench is made in the first place. It's a tool. The point of it is to save you energy completing a task. Maximizing true value maximizes the amount of useful work the wrench does per the energy it costs to make the wrench. So, which wrench should be made in order to maximize true value? Which one maximizes the energy saved per energy spent? The first wrench is very heavy. It's extremely durable. It lasts about 2,000 jobs. It works extremely well, but it's very difficult to manufacture. The second wrench is a bit lighter. It's less durable. It only lasts about 900 jobs. It works well, and it's easier to manufacture. The third wrench is really light. It's less durable, though. It works just about as well as the other wrench, and it's easier to manufacture. So the energy cost of producing 1 kilogram of steel, this is called the embodied energy, is actually about 10,000 watt hours. And processing this 1 kilogram of steel into a wrench estimates at about 8,000 watt hours. So now we're going to compare all the wrenches. First we're going to look at the processing energy. Then we're going to look at the manufacturing energy. Then we're going to look at how much energy each wrench saved relative to the other wrenches. Then we're going to look at the durability, or how many jobs these wrenches last for. Then we're going to look at the true value, how many jobs these wrenches can do per the amount of energy spent making them. The first wrench uses 10,000 watt hours worth of steel. That's how much energy it took to produce the steel used in this wrench. The second wrench uses 7,500 watt hours of steel. The third wrench uses about 5,000 watt hours of steel. That's the processing energy, the energy needed to get the resources. The energy needed to manufacture the first wrench is 8,000 hours. The energy needed for the second wrench, which is less high quality, is only 3,000 watt hours. The energy needed for the third wrench is 2,000 watt hours. Saved. In this case, because these are just being compared, you don't need the actual energy each wrench saves when you're using it in a plumbing job. You just need the relative energy saved. If you consider the highest quality wrench works the best, give it a value of 100%. The other wrenches are then compared to the 100% rating of the first wrench. The second wrench is 90% because it works 90% as well as the first wrench. It saves 90% as much energy. The third wrench saves 85% as much energy as the first wrench. This way, you don't need to know exactly how much energy each wrench saves. You just have to know relatively how well they work. The durability of each wrench. The first wrench lasts 2,000 jobs. The second wrench lasts 900 jobs. The third one only lasts 700 jobs. So what does this mean about the true value? The true value, this number, is the amount of jobs each wrench can do per 100 watts it took to manufacture them. It's literally the amount of useful work each wrench does per work done making each wrench. The first wrench lasts 11 jobs per 100 watts spent making it. The second wrench does 7.71 jobs per 100 watts spent making it. The third wrench does 8.5 jobs per 100 watts spent making it. That's because the third wrench, even though it doesn't work as well as the second wrench, even though it's not as durable as the second wrench, it uses both less energy to manufacture and less resources. So wrench number 1 ends up being the best use of energy. It does 11 jobs per 100 watt hours spent manufacturing it. The high quality wrench uses the most energy and the most resources. It would be the most expensive wrench. It takes longer, it uses more metal, but in the long term, it's the best use of energy out of any of those wrenches. It does more useful work for the work spent making it. The total energy use actually takes time into account. This isn't the best in a day or a week, it's the best over all time. The total energy it saves takes into account the entire time it's used and the total amount of resources used over all time. Now consider the problem of who should get this wrench. Think about giving the wrench to a little kid, like little Timmy. He obviously will use the wrench improperly. He'll only use the wrench a few times. And the wrench only does useful work when it's used. Jeff the plumber, on the other hand, uses the wrench daily for years. He'll use it year after year until it wears out, and he'll use the wrench properly with proper techniques. So when little Jimmy uses the wrench, this amazing tool, which has this capacity to do 2,000 jobs, he only uses it for 15 jobs, but it costs the same amount of energy. It costs 18,000 watt hours total to manufacture. So if Timmy owns the wrench is only good for 0.083 jobs per 100 watt hours spent manufacturing it. If Jeff the plumber, on the other hand, has the wrench, he uses it for all it's good for. He uses it for the full 2,000 jobs of its life. Even though it still costs 18,000 watt hours, he gets the full true value out of this wrench. The wrench used by the plumber does 11 jobs per 100 watt hours spent manufacturing it. Literally, the plumber using the wrench increases its true value because it ends up doing more useful work. So how should the plumber use the wrench? He should use it in a way where it saves the most amount of energy total, so that it works well and so that it lasts as long as possible. So the best total use of energy is wrench 1, used by Jeff with skill and care. So why should true value be maximized? Consider this: energy is limited. No matter what, we always have only a limited amount of energy, especially each of us individual human beings. You only have a certain amount of time, you only have a certain amount of energy. Resources are also limited. There's only a limited amount of steel on the planet. There's only a limited amount of wood. There's only a limited amount of all of our resources. Maximizing true value maximizes the useful work that our limited energy as human beings and as society and our limited resources that we have are able to do for us. It gets the most out of the limited stuff that we have. The work that the miner does, mining the metal, actually goes farther. The work of the blacksmith contributes to more useful work done in the end. The plumber ends up with a high quality tool that lasts a long time. the resource of 1 kilogram of steel is put to a very good use. It's used for its maximum benefit for all it's worth. Maximizing true value is rational for everyone, not just for the miner, not just for the plumber, for everyone involved, because it makes all of their work do more. Even people not involved in making or using the wrench benefit, because less resources are used to do more plumbing work. More resources, more steel, more time and energy are left over for other tasks. Resources are cheaper. There's more resources, more steel left over for everyone else. Energy is cheaper for everyone else because less energy is needed to process less steel in total for less wrenches, because the wrenches that are made last longer and are higher quality. More total energy is available. So maximizing true value involves production, distribution, and use all at once. More true value means more done with less. It means extra time, extra energy, and extra resources, which ultimately means more freedom. I hope you like this practical example, and thanks for watching.